Got Choi. So first thing as I want to share with you guys today will be my latest completion of a project. This originally had the nickname of G Innovation StreetKat, as in Street Katana. That was named by my goddaughter. Hey Abby, how are you, sweetie? And that's what it is, Street Katana. So StreetKat, the key different thing is this is not just meant for those of you who know me, my background originally is in Japanese martial arts and Koryu, so classical Japanese martial arts. So Nyontos in general, or like type swords, are very close to my heart. But what I've done with this particular thing, instead of going to classical tsukamaki, I decided to do tactical single ridge wrap on this, because that is the most sought after wrapping when anyone requests for wrapping service by me. And allow me to explain to you guys why that is. So the single ridge wrap, I think they're running that whole cleaning machine again for the trucks or for the streets. Anyhow, why single ridge wrap is so sought after is for the following: for the bigger blades. For smaller blades is a different story. Smaller weapons, when you do single ridge wraps, is specifically for edge orientation, which side is sharp, especially on no light and low light conditions. But when it gets to be a bigger weapon, or especially with the handle that's a little bit more thicker, the single ridge wrap is to fill the palm of the hand better for you, so you get a cleaner edge alignment on your cuts. Now this particular sword has been edged by my good friend Master Daniel O'Malley of Epicurean Edges. Now unlike general katanas, which is typically at 28-29 inches in blade length, StreetKat has the edge length of Nagasa, the cutting edge, is at 17.5 inches. There you go. And it is meant for the following uses. If you practice Floro fighting systems, you'll find yourself at home with for dos manos application using FFS grip. If you practice essential Calicio Restreamissimo, you'll find that this works beautifully for just that. So you can do EKI with it, you can do FFS machete with it, obviously, and this thing just sinks. If you practice Kapi Kabam, you'll find yourself extremely home with this as well. So regardless of the arts that you practice, this will fit the Katana perfectly. I've had many students who came by and already took a look at this. They're comparing this to Burmese Da or Thai Dab, so Thai sword, and it's very similar, because especially for those of my students who've been with me for longer, they remember my dear brother Lacey Zabo, his Kapikaban sword, and they said this thing feels a lot like that, especially in length. So very true to it, and that's probably one of the highest compliment I could get for this particular sword, and by far it's my best wrapping yet. So if you do Kenjutsu for EI, you'll find that the cuts, especially on the draw on your Nuketukiri, it actually be cleaner because it aligns your blade and your hand perfectly without having to torque your wrist. So due to that, it's a whole lot better for edge alignment and geometry, especially for cutting. So I absolutely love how this turned out. As for the saya, original saya was slightly longer, so I cut it up a little bit. The 550 core after we moved the kurigata. Oh, it's one of those street cleaning machines, the engine truck. So let them do their thing. And on the puño, so it's hem cord underneath and 550 layer over, and obviously burnt and smoothed into it. So there's one piece on both sides. On the puño though, on the bottom cap, what I did on this thing is for the following. After cutting it, obviously I needed to fill it. I had a couple options, but what I did was to bring back some technology and tactics that is utilized by I hope I'm not getting snow, because that I just think it's one of those salt spray machines. Anyhow, for this, I put 2 cloth and I pretty much glued that on there first, let it cure. Then I put hem cord to tie that underneath it, then 550 cord over, and I epoxied the bottom so it is solid. Why I did that was after reading about how the Korean folks and how Korean swords, especially in scabbard, how their technology, that's where a key difference lies between any other culture in the East Asian Peninsula, especially if you look at the Korea, Japan, and China. The scabbard on Korean sword is what distinguished the Korean sword than an actual sword design, because the scabbards are paper thin, yet it actually is rigid and holds the sword extremely well. Main reason for this was due to weight. Koreans in general were not swordsmen, they are actually archers. Swords were used as a sidearm, and they need to keep the weight down as possible. And ironically, as one of my friends, Jason, with the local police department here, he is a Hapkido practitioner, so he is all about all things Korean, and he tells me that this is actually historically perfect, accurate blade length and handle for Hwando, and he is very correct on that. Hwando is a Korean general definition term for anything that is single-edged sword, and this is a very true fact for the following reason. Generally, Korean swords do not have seppa, so the brass pieces that keeps the suba from rattling on or causing a lot of friction between suka and also habaki and suba. And it's missing that because this underneath this is a wooden layer which is totally epoxied all the way to the habaki, so this thing's not coming loose at any given time. And then obviously it's wrapped over with my G Innovations hem cord wrap underneath with 550 cord and single ridge wrap. So this is actually very correct for Hwando, and because Koreans generally do typically use it with a single hand versus two-handed usage on their techniques. But there you go. G Innovations, StreetKat. Many thanks to my wonderful friend Master Daniel O'Malley for his amazing etching, because Epicurean etch is what really truly makes this. There you go. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that particular review. Stay tuned for the next one.